Yo, what is up everybody? Jumpin' here, and today I am back on the first Descendant, and I'm going to be showing off my extremely overpowered Lepic build, which I am calling Lepic Sucks. And oh boy does he. This is a mobbing build. There is so much fun to be had here, mainly because it's very goofy and you can just always be creative. And you can just do pretty funny things, like throw all the enemies off a cliff if you want to. But also, this is amazing for playing in multiplayer with other people. You can come up with all types of crazy synergies with this. A prime example is using damage over time effects like Valby or Freyna. Just make a giant death pool and then pull everything into that spot, and they will just all instantly die. And it's just so much fun. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this. I have multiple variants of this mobbing build. Really, the only difference is the skill mod. But you can do a gun version, which I'm calling the Lazy Lepic. I really like to shoot the enemies, obviously, with my Thundercage, blow them all up for the mobbing. The Enduring Legacy on this setup is actually kind of insane. The gun damage is really good, but that is because you can give yourself a really good gun damage buff. And we are really just trying to suck up all the enemies, mainly for the ability to shoot them, blow them up with the Thundercage. But while we're at it, if we have overpowered teammates, like a Viessa using Blizzard, well, everything's gonna pretty much die once it gets sucked up into that. So that's kind of the idea behind the Lazy Lepic. My other variant, the Ultimate Lepic one, that one I'm calling the Leader Lepic variant. And the reason why I'm calling it that is because I can really use my ultimate, give myself an amazing damage buff, and just go to town. That is the true Lepic mobbing, and I'm going to have an entire gameplay at the end of a special operation of me using that build if you want to watch that. But this is the gun variant. And of course, because of this new update, I went ahead and redesigned my build a little bit. Because originally I did have it set up to do bossing, but it didn't do as much damage as other people's builds because my build was a hybrid thing. Now I have gotten my build to actually do really good boss damage, because all I had to do was go and change a couple sockets. That was all I needed. It was just 2 sockets, I think, and then it just was a game changer in terms of making my build way more powerful for doing boss damage, while still being able to put this on at any point if I want to do some mobbing, or if I want to play with my friends and have a really, really fun time. And everyone can eat with this build. That's what's so amazing about it. I will admit, one thing that does happen sometimes, maybe I'm trying to play Jaybird, right? And if I'm doing that and there's 3 bunnies on my team, I'm going to feel like I'm not really doing much, because the bunnies are going to kill everything. With this, I always feel like I'm doing something, and I know I am. And it's helping the bunnies, and it's helping all of my OP teammates. Alrighty guys, well that's going to pretty much do it for this gameplay. Now I'm going to break down the build for you and tell you everything you're going to want to know. I'm also going to put timestamps if you want to skip around. Alrighty guys, well I'm going to go ahead and start with the gear, and then I will show you my mods and my 3 different builds that I have on my Lepic. Because one build is a boss build, and then the other 2 are the mobbing builds, the Lazy Lepic and the Leader Lepic. Alrighty. The gear, though, is pretty much the same, besides for the boss build. And the reactor I use is just a purple one. You can definitely use an ultimate reactor if you like to. But with the purple one, it does allow you to use your Enduring Legacy if you want to pull this out to shoot any big guy. Now, with the gun build, you do not have to worry about reloading your gun. With the other build, which is for the Ultimate Lepic, you have to constantly reload your gun. And because of that, you really just cannot use the Enduring Legacy if you have it set up the way I have it set up, which is mainly to do a lot of damage. That negative reload speed you get from concentration priority is horrible for this gun, and it makes it take forever. Now, one thing that I do use on this is sharp precision shot. That way, if I do ever activate my ultimate while using the legacy, I can still take advantage of all that fire rate bonus. Now, with the gun build, you really shouldn't be using your ultimate all that much, but you can use it if there's some really annoying enemies that you can't shoot for some reason, and you just want to hit them hard. The damage over time effect of the Lepic ultimate will do like no damage with this build, because I have multiple negative power modifier things in this to make it just basically do nothing. But the actual impact damage will still do decent damage. So here's my Thundercage. Same idea. I use sharp, I use fire rate up, and then everything else is just for decent damage with the gun. The reload bonus I put in this is for Lepic. I actually put that in there just for Lepic because I want to be able to reload the gun quickly so that I can constantly keep my buff going with my ultimate Lepic. Now the blue Beetle, I have this on because this is what I use for my boss build. You want to use impact rounds because if you look at sharp precision shot, it's every 0.4 seconds instead of every 0.5 seconds, which means that it takes 4 seconds to get maximum stacks compared to 5 seconds to get maximum stacks. So you are better off for your bossing build using impact rounds. It could be any gun, it really doesn't matter. I chose the blue Beetle just because it does have an effect that at least can do something with Lepic, but I don't even know if I've ever gotten it to work. I'm just being honest. Now, some of my components are amazing. I'm going for 2 different set bonuses here. I want the fire skill power, and I want that duration as well. This is what I use on my bossing build. There's no difference with my components, but I have some pretty decent ones for these two. You definitely want this MP stuff. It helps tremendously for keeping your MP up. The MP out of combat helps a lot for the boss battles, because what you can do is that if you are out of MP and you can't get it back, just run away. Try to run away from the boss and get some distance, and then the game's going to put you out of combat and your MP will come back really quickly. And that is an easy way to get your MP back without needing to kill yourself, which I'm going to talk about because I find that to be insane to me. And I will explain that in a lot of detail. So here are my other components, and I'm going for a lot of max health. I want just health. The only one I don't go for health is this one because it's just a really good roll I have on this, and also I'll take that defense, why not? And the skill duration with that set bonus is amazing. My reactor that I use for my boss build is this. It has skill cooldown and it has critical hit damage on it. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the mods, and we're going to start with the Lazy Lepic. Now, there is one new thing that I just added into this, and that is I decided to put increased HP into this, where before, all the mods were the same, at least the socket types were the same as the leader Lepic build, which the only real difference is that one is using power unit change, which will increase your firearm attack instead of your skill power when you're using overclock. This is a 51% firearm attack bonus. That's amazing, especially with really powerful guns like the Enduring Legacy. I can delete bosses and I can delete elite enemies so fast with that gun if I'm using it with this build. And I can still suck up every single enemy. And of course, I use my Thundercage, which gets better damage based on the firearm attack to blow enemies up and to mob that way. Now, because it's a gun build, you could use shot focus instead of this extra increased HP. But I decided to go for that just because I want to be tankier with this build. It just makes the most sense. And the reason why the ultimate really sucks kind of with this is because the damage over time effect is getting nerfed. This has maximum range on it. It just does. 27 meters is the range of this grenade, but I want to have as much duration, range, and cooldown as possible. Now, you don't have to upgrade your focus on tech. Don't worry about that. And let me go ahead and show you the leader Lepic now, which is the ultimate Lepic variant, and it uses Firearm Master. This is the best Lepic skill mod by a mile. And that just means that Ultimate Lepic is just better. And I would highly advise grinding Ultimate Lepic. It's not that bad of a grind compared to some of the other Ultimate Descendants, trust me. Lepic's not that bad, but he is highly worth it to get the Ultimate one just so that you can use this skill mod. Now, one thing that you might notice is that I'm using application control in here, and I'm doing that because I don't want to have all that negative skill power modifier. I'm still using maximum duration, but this is just so worth it. 40% duration is super nice. Combine that with this, and we're sitting at a really nice duration. Also, I have battle stamina for that extra duration, and I have skill insight. I chose for the mobbing build that the crit chance is definitely probably the best thing to go for, but it's really the only thing I'm going for there. Focus on tech, I could actually upgrade this slightly and that would be fine, but I don't really see the need. It's not going to help me all that much. But with this build, I am normally popping my ultimate after using my grenades, and then I am shooting my ultimate into the grenade, killing everything, and leaving that damage over time effect, which lasts a very long time with all of this duration. Now finally, let me go ahead and show you the boss Lepic. The main difference between my original build, which was more of a hybrid, because I wanted it to do some boss damage, but I also wanted it to be able to do the mobbing stuff. So I was focusing more on the mobbing stuff, to be honest. But the main thing I changed here was I added in a couple extra A symbols to get that extra crit damage and crit chance from emergency measures and front lines. This made a huge difference. Now, personally, for the boss build, I do like having duration. When I have the extra duration, I just feel like I do a lot more overall damage. I can get off a lot of extra shots because of my duration. The strong mentality, that little bit of skill cost reduction, I think helps a lot. Just because every time I use my ultimate, I can get off all my shots and I'm not running out of MP before my duration. Now, I want to talk about something, which is I'm using Focus on Fire, which gives me 77% fire skill power, which all Lepic skills are counted as a fire skill. Even without using Overclock, they're still in that category, so they're still going to get that 77% skill power bonus. And this gives you a minus 6% cooldown. Now, what I have heard from people is that everybody uses maximum damage or maximum skill power, whatever mod that is. And what that does is that it gives you extra skill power damage for a penalty of skill cooldown. And it's a penalty that goes all the way up to 50% extra skill cooldown, which would make your ultimate take forever to come back. And my understanding is that what people do is that they kill themselves. And then they just bleed out in the middle of the boss battle, and now they can get their cooldown back, and they can get all their MP back, and they can do it again. The only problem I have with that is the idea of doing that in multiplayer. If you do that the one time, and then all of a sudden, Frostwalker or some other boss just kills a bunch of people, and it's a real struggle to pick people up, and then you run out of lives, you could have probably beat the boss if you would have not have killed yourself that one time. That's a bummer, and I don't think it's necessary. With my boss build, every time the immunity phase is over with a boss, I can use my ultimate again. I don't have to kill myself. Now, in terms of getting my MP back, if I'm desperate, I can just run out of combat and let it come back that way because of my component. I have no problem with MP. I have no problem with the cooldown. I can use it multiple times per Colossus boss battle. And I just don't understand the idea of using maximized power. It gives 85% or 87% damage, which is only 10% better than Focus on Fire. And you give yourself a 50% skill cooldown penalty. I just don't get it. I don't know why anyone would want to use that. Guys, if you're using that, I would highly advise switch it to Focus on Fire. Try this and see the difference. If you are soloing bosses, no problem with you killing yourself and doing that. But in a multiplayer, I just don't think that's a good idea at all. Now, I do want to actually show this and talk a little bit about this. I actually do have to switch my build again. Let me go on. I will go on Leader Lepic, and I want to actually show this a little bit. So, my cooldown for this grenade is 4.7 seconds. The duration is 3.8 seconds. Now, there's about a second gap in between, but you still will always have 100% uptime. The radius on this is 22 meters because I have amplification control in there. But if I reload my gun, I can boost that up to 26 meters, which is 1 meter off of the max of 27. The Lazy Lepic build has 27 all the time, just because it's using maximum range. Now let me show you this. If I run right up to the enemies and I chuck this, it's going to detonate right away. But that detonation time means that I have 100% uptime on the grenade. Because the moment I chuck it, it's going to start cooling down. And now it has to detonate. Now if you pay attention, I got it back and they're falling over. The further I am away from them, the better it can be for that idea. So it's like, okay, they're all in the air. I literally can just do it right away again and keep them locked up. Now, let me go ahead and use overclock, which for the Leader Lepic build, I will use my overclock. It has a very long duration on it, so I don't have to do it all that often. But I am constantly reloading my gun to keep my bonus up. And what I normally like to do is chuck a grenade to build up everybody. And then a lot of times I'll chuck a second grenade. Now, once I chuck that second grenade, that's when I'll go for my ultimate. And I will take out any of the big threats. And I will leave those fire effects there. And then I can just keep sucking them up and killing them with that effect. Having your own damage over time effect is amazing. It just is. And having other people do it as well is super nice. So you combine that together like a Valby, your Lepic, maybe a Freyna, a Blair, or even a Jaybird using his damage over time turrets. It doesn't really matter how you're doing it. It's going to be crazy. Now I'm going to show you some gameplay of the Leader Lepic where I'm using my ultimate, and it's going to really show on how amazing Lepic is for mobbing, because he can literally wipe everything out in any of the content. But before that, I am going to show you me fighting Frostwalker. First, it's going to be with me and another Lepic and a Luna. I only play with random people, so I can't really control who I play with. But that was a really good one because we deleted Frostwalker super quick. And then I have another one where I'm the only Lepic. Alrighty guys, well I really do hope that you have enjoyed this and it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future First Descendant videos. And I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day. And peace out.
appeared from another dimension.
Huh. Transform.
See that? Void energy detected.
Keep struggling.
Get sprayed. Shield.
Reload. That's annoying. Bunny, come on.
Thanks, Lepic.
With an ambush like that, it's no wonder our people were caught unawares.
Time for fireworks. Keep struggling.
With an ambush like that, it's no wonder our people were caught unawares.
Get out of the way!
Reload.
appeared from another dimension.
Base loading. Shield it down.
Get out of the way!
Reload. Load.
You see that? Void energy detected.
Loading.
See that? Void energy detected.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna show you how to do tricks!
Base loading.
Get up right now! Ow!
With an ambush like that, it's no wonder our people were caught unawares.
That's annoying.
Watch out! Enemy ambush! Watch out! Enemy ambush! Watch out! Enemy ambush! With an ambush like that, it's no wonder our people were caught unawares.
Keep struggling.
It's appeared from another dimension.